Here's your KNDY weatherology forecast for northeast Kansas and southeast Nebraska. Chance of thunderstorms today, otherwise sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Highs level off around 89. Partly cloudy skies again tonight, chance of thunderstorms. Lows dip down to about 67. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Tomorrow, daytime highs approaching 88. I'm staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Right now, it's 81 degrees.
Mid-America Network News. Thousands of Kansans are facing delays on their state income tax refunds this year. The Kansas Department of Revenue said while it can be common to see delays if a return is flagged for additional review, this year's budget constraints mean that thousands of Kansans are seeing delays. To check the status of your refund, go online to ksrevenue.gov and select the tab Taxation. Emergency crews were involved in several water rescues early this morning following the heavy rains in northeast Kansas. Just before 3 a.m., the Jackson County Sheriff's Office received a report that vehicles had been washed off U.S. Highway 75 at Muddy Creek near the Brown County line. Remember, turn around, don't drown. I'm Stephanie Austin.
Fox Kansas News at 9. Join the award-winning Fox Kansas News team. The first on the air with world, state, and local news from the Wichita area you can trust. Get the first forecast of the night with accurate information to help you prepare for the day tomorrow. And stay up to date with the first sports scores from throughout the day for your favorite teams. Get all the news you need in a concise half hour at a convenient time. Fox Kansas News at 9. Your news, your time. Channel 24, Cox Cable Channel 4.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kathleen Eubanks-Ming with the American Academy of Family Physicians. Bullies use power, strength, or popularity to hurt others emotionally or physically. And while you can't be with your child all the time, there are ways you can help. If your child encounters a bully, tell them to get to a safe place and tell an adult. You can also show them how to block online bullies. Teach them they can be more than a bystander and that they can help their peers. For more on bullying, visit familydoctor.org or talk with your family physician.
A local judge has sentenced a man to prison after a jury convicted him earlier this year of his role in the killing of a 72-year-old Topeka man. A Shawnee County judge sentenced 25-year-old Wisdom J. Curls to 128 months or just over 10 years in prison today. This comes after law enforcement accused him of killing Topeka resident Terry Keller in July last year. A jury convicted Curls of involuntary manslaughter and criminal possession of a weapon by a felon in March. KU pharmacy workers lost a union election by 2 votes, and then dozens of delayed ballots arrived. Pharmacy technicians at the University of Kansas Health System narrowly lost the May union election, but nearly 40% of the ballots arrived in the mail late, potentially changing the results. So far, the Kansas State Board hasn't counted them, but organizers are asking for a redo. I'm Stephanie Austin.
Most hailstorms last 3 to 5 minutes. In that time, Mother Nature can deal a crushing blow to your crops, your profits, and the future of your farming operation. Remove that risk with crop hail coverage from Blue Valley Insurance. Our crop hail policies provide protection against physical damage from hail, and our wind coverage ensures a safety net in case of damaging winds and tornadoes. Blue Valley Insurance in Lynn, Greenleaf, Hanover, and Marysville.
Mid-America, Nebraska News. A 29-year-old man died after he was shot in a convenience store parking lot yesterday morning in Ralston. Multiple agencies responded to a report of a shooting at a quick shop around 6:40 a.m. When officers got to the scene, they found a 29-year-old man lying in the parking lot. The Ralston Police Department has identified him as Shane Krantz. An initial investigation showed the man had sustained a gunshot wound after being involved in an altercation with a suspect in another vehicle. Construction is underway near the Northeast Water Resource Recovery Facility in Lincoln. Google is footing the bill of the $10 million wastewater project, transporting non-contact cooling water from the data center's cooling water system about 3 miles to the facility, where it will be treated and dumped into Salt Creek. I'm Stephanie Austin.
It's a beautiful day and your crops look better than they have in years. What could go wrong? When storms are in the forecast, don't gamble with your crops. It's amazing what one hailstorm can do to your field. Midwest Ag Professionals in Jetmore, Kansas wants to help protect your crops with hail coverage, fire coverage, and more. Plus, we can have you covered in less than 2 hours. Call Midwest Ag Professionals today at 620-357-6390 or online at MidwestAgProfessionals.com. Get the most out of your crop insurance today. Life on the farm can be tough. Uncertainty in the weather, crop prices, trade deals, and so much more. How do you keep up with it all to make your farm successful? That's where we come in. Join me, James Guerin, with the Mid-America Ag Network with your hourly ag commodities, daily weather, soil moisture, and humidity reports. Plus, keep up with the latest regional and national news affecting the ag markets. Let's work together in making your farm thrive. And it's all right here on the Mid-America Ag Network.
Reporting local news, I'm Bruce Dierking. June 1st was filing deadline for the August primary. Marshall County 1st District County Commissioner John Unger will face a challenge from Chris Denner on the Republican ticket. Both are from Marysville. No Democrat is filed. Our public affairs program this weekend will highlight next weekend's Washington County Rodeo, which is June 12th and 13th. Join the conversation Saturday morning at 7:10 on KNDY. An exhibit featuring the work of artist Joe Oswald opens this weekend, continuing through June at the Lee Dam Art Center in Marysville. Oswald was a local artist, still known for murals, commercial sign painting, and his work on restoration efforts at St. Mary's Catholic Church at St. Benedict. He passed away in 2017. The exhibit's open Friday noon to 6, Saturday 10 to 2, and Sunday noon to 3 this weekend, as well as additional dates in the month of June. Marysville Area Community Theater auditions for the summer musical The Sound of Music continue Friday evening. Children under 12 welcome 5 to 6 p.m., adults 6 to 8 at the Marysville Presbyterian Church, 10th and Center Streets. Parts also available for musical director, choreographer, content creator, makeup artist, stage manager, and stage crew. Show dates are July 24th through the 26th. E-Waste Collection Saturday in Frankfort and Vermilion, Sunday in Waterville. Mark's E-Waste will be in Frankfort Saturday 10 to noon at 219 3rd Street. Then in Vermilion Saturday 1 to 3 at 3rd and Main. Sunday in Waterville 10 to noon at 205 East Commercial. Computers and accessories, cell phones, video displays, televisions, microwaves, and home appliances. Details at Mark's E-Waste page on Facebook. Blue River Days in Marysville Friday and Saturday. Pickleball tournament Friday begins at 4. Cruise night downtown 5 until 8. Stephen Banky and Flatland Band perform free at 8:30 downtown. Car show registration Saturday 8 to noon. Awards at 2:30. $20 entry fee. Best of show wins $500 with trophies, prizes, and cash. A Hot Wheels race is planned in the Kids Zone, open 10 to 3 Saturday. Barbecue sauce tasting at 11. A historic walking tour is planned Saturday morning, meeting at the Historic Courthouse in Marysville, departing at 9:30. Limited to 30 participants. $10 per head donation will be shared with Marysville museums on the tour, including the County Courthouse, Kester House, Pony Express Barn, and historic Union Pacific Depot. Bruce Dierking will lead the tour. No advance reservations. Wear comfortable walking shoes for the 2-hour tour. Details the One Marysville and museum pages on Facebook or phone 785-562-8024. Our public affairs program with volunteers, which aired last weekend, is available as a podcast download with more details at KNDYradio.com. Liz Warren is among volunteer organizers.
Yeah, so 19 years ago, we started the KCBS sanctioned event for barbecuers across the country. A lot of our barbecuers come from the Midwest, but it's a really big deal. So it's a sanctioned event for those KCBS barbecuers to come in. This is how they earn points for the national competition. There's a National Royale event. And they all love it. They love Marysville. They love coming downtown. They think our festival is so much fun. But of course, they always mention the people. And unfortunately, the public doesn't get to taste their barbecue, but that's why we came up with the sauce contest.
Carol D. Coppice, age 86, passed away June 1st. Massive Christian burial Monday, 10 a.m. at the Sacred Heart Catholic Church, Greenleaf. Burial in the Riverside Cemetery, Waterville. Visitation Sunday 2 until 4 p.m. with the Rosary at 3 at the Sacred Heart Catholic Church in Greenleaf, with the Christy Andrews Funeral Home in charge of arrangements for Carol Coppice. Maxine L. Holler, age 98, formerly of Blue Rapids, passed away May 29th. Graveside Memorial Service June 27th at the Prospect Hill Cemetery, Blue Rapids. Christy Andrews Funeral Home in charge of arrangements for Maxine Holler.
Okay, we have Vacation Bible School from 9 to noon, swimming lessons at 3, baseball game at 6. I need to add in travel time and get lunches packed.
Mom, my uniform needs wash and tennis camp's at 2.
Your kid's summer schedules may be unpredictable, but with the Blue Valley Technologies fiber internet, your connection doesn't have to be. Sign up for our outdoor Wi-Fi today and get free installation. Find more details at bluevalley.net/outdoor.
Here's your KNDY weatherology forecast for northeast Kansas and southeast Nebraska. Some scattered showers and thunderstorms possible today, otherwise sunny with our highs in the upper 80s and mid-90s. Showers and thunderstorms possible overnight tonight, partly cloudy with our lows in the upper 60s and lower 70s. Showers and thunderstorms still possible throughout the weekend. Some rain on Saturday, cloudy with our highs in the mid to upper 80s. Then some scattered showers and thunderstorms are possible on a Saturday night, mostly cloudy with our lows in the upper 50s and lower 60s. More scattered showers are likely on a Sunday, otherwise partly sunny with our highs in the mid to upper 80s, and showers and thunderstorms then continue throughout Sunday night with our lows in the lower to mid 60s. Still a chance for some rain showers on a Monday, otherwise sunny with our highs in the upper 80s and lower 90s. And rain showers possible on a Monday night, partly cloudy with our lows in the upper 60s. Scattered showers and thunderstorms early Tuesday, then staying sunny with our highs in the upper 80s and lower 90s. And clear skies throughout Tuesday night with our lows in the upper 60s and lower 70s. Some sunshine throughout Wednesday with our highs in the upper 90s and lower 100s. I'm meteorologist Kara Foster.
Average high early June, 83. Record high, 95. The average low, 59. The record low, 41. Sunset, 8:52. Sunrise in the morning at 6. About another 1.5 inches of rain Thursday in our rain gauge studios.
Harvesting wild berries is one of the great pleasures of summertime. But do you know your blackberries from your black raspberries? A little help today from the Old Farmer's Almanac.
No matter where in Kansas you call home, your Farm Bureau membership saves you money. Members get exclusive savings on quality post-frame buildings with QSI. Save up to 20% on durable workwear apparel with Key Apparel. And join the Kansans saving on quality nationwide health coverage with Kansas Farm Bureau health plans. Explore these and more member benefits available with your Farm Bureau membership. Learn more at www.kfb.org. You don't have to be a farmer or rancher to be a Farm Bureau member in Kansas. No matter if you live on a farm or in the city, your Farm Bureau membership is packed with value. Save on new zero-turn mowers from Grasshopper. Enjoy discounts on premium motor coach tours with Village Travel. And enjoy significant savings on medical health coverage with Kansas Farm Bureau health plans. Not a member? Join today at www.kfb.org.
With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report for Friday, June 5th, the 156th day of the year. Actor Mark Wahlberg has a birthday, and a foot of snow fell at the Mammoth Mountain ski area in California on this day in 1993. If you know your wild berries, this is a great time of year to be out foraging. Here are some of the most frequent berry identification questions we hear. How can I tell a blackberry from a black raspberry? Here are some easy ways to identify them. When picked, blackberries will show part of the white stem in the center, while the core of a black raspberry is hollow. Blackberries are also larger and shinier and typically appear later in the season. Red raspberries have a close look-alike to the thimbleberry. Its shape is flatter and wider, and the stem has no thorns. That's the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. Learn more at almanac.com.
Mid-American Network Sports, I'm Doug Downs. Make it 2 in a row for the Kansas City Royals as they get their second win in a row last night in Minnesota. Josh Rojas comes into the lineup as a pinch hitter and hits a 2-run RBI to give the Royals an 8-6 win. Minnesota and Kansas City are playing a 4-game set over the weekend. Game number 2 is tonight at 7:15. It was a repeat of last year's national championship in college softball, and the result was the same. For a second year in a row, the Texas Longhorns claimed the title. They beat Tech 4-1. Could L'Jarius Sneed make a comeback for the Kansas City Chiefs? According to Adam Schefter, the defensive star is currently meeting with the Chiefs. He is a free agent this year. Sneed was a member of the Chiefs secondary from 2020 to 2023, where he played a large role in 2 of the Chiefs' Super Bowl victories. The road to Omaha for the Kansas Jayhawk baseball team will start tomorrow at 5 o'clock in Lawrence. They will play in a super regional best 2 out of 3 against OU. If KU can win 2 out of 3, they will head to the World Series.
Professional excavators and homeowners, safety always comes first, and safe digging is no accident. So before you begin your next digging project, remember to call Kansas 811 to have your underground utility lines marked for free. Know what's below. Call 811 before you dig. So play it safe. Put down the shovel, pick up the phone, and call 811 first. This message is brought to you by Kansas 811, reminding you that no matter if your digging project is big or small, don't make a judgment call. Always call 811 before you dig.
It can be challenging for U.S. farmers to make a profit in the grain markets. Reduce your risk exposure by purchasing professionally produced seed from authorized seed companies and seed dealers. The members of the Seed Innovation and Protection Alliance invest 15% of their sales into product research and development to help farmers like you maximize their crop performance every year. Bringing new seed innovations requires time, extensive research, and farmer partnership, the kind of commitments the seed companies of SEPA are investing in. Thank you for buying new seed and supporting U.S. seed innovation. To anonymously report a seed infringement, call 1-844-SEED-TIP.
Mike Kennedy was the voice of the Wichita State Shockers on radio for both basketball and baseball for over 40 years. He retired after this past season, and yesterday the Shockers announced their brand new voice. Denning Gehrig will take over the microphone for Kennedy. Gehrig is a local Wichita kid and was a graduate of Wichita State. He said he is living out his lifelong dream by becoming the new voice of the Shockers. Game 2 of the NBA Finals will get underway tonight between the New York Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs. Tip-off will be at 7:30. The Knicks lead the series 1-0. The NHL Stanley Cup is underway, and last night the series got tied up as Carolina was able to beat Vegas 4-3 in overtime. Game 3 of the series will be Saturday night at 7 o'clock on ABC. If you plan on attending the World Cup events at Arrowhead Stadium, you can no longer take in water bottles. FIFA banned all water bottles from all of their stadiums yesterday for fan and player safety reasons. Mid-America Sports, I'm Doug Downs.
Wrapping up our recaps of state track results from last weekend, in Class 2A, the Washington County Tigers took 7 competitors to Wichita and came back with 3 medals. On the girls' side, it was junior Anna Gakel that led the way as she finishes 3rd in the 300 hurdles, 4th in the 100 hurdles, and 18th in high jump. Fellow junior Macy Gepner finished 10th in pole vault and 12th in javelin, while the lone senior and Cloud County track and field commit Alyssa Juniman finished her high school career with a 15th place finish in long jump and 17th in the open 100. Other finishers saw freshman Emerson Kern kick off her high school career with a 13th place finish in javelin, while sophomore Maggie Luchmeyer finished 20th in high jump. On the boys' side, Washington County was represented by 2 athletes. Senior Gavin LeDuc comes home with a state medal in his last track meet, finishing 16th in javelin, while junior Tanner Baker finishes 17th in triple jump. At the 3A level for the Marysville Bulldogs, it was the girls' team and more specifically sophomore Reese Wassenberg that stole the show last weekend. Wassenberg, along with Sarah Miller, Eden Miller, and Reese Packett, powered the girls' 4x4 team to a state championship first-place finish in a tight race, narrowly edging out the second-place finisher by 0.04 of a second. Reese Wassenberg continued her great weekend as she broke the Marysville High school record in the 300 hurdles in preliminary action, running 46 1/10 of a second, and finished 6th overall, and wrapped up her weekend with her 3rd medal and 8th-place finish in the 200-meter dash. Junior Sarah Miller also had an exceptional weekend, claiming bronze in the long jump, just 1 3/4 inches behind first place, and finished 18th in the open 400. Senior Casey Rush finished her high school career with a medal as she placed 8th in high jump, while sophomore Eden Miller finished 16th in the 300 hurdles. The girls' 4x1 team of Reese Wassenberg, Sarah Miller, Ian Miller, and Reese Packett missed finals action by a tenth of a second and finished 10th. All in all, the Marysville girls came home with a 10th place team finish. For the Marysville boys, it was senior Grant Hafley in his final high school meet, finishing 13th in the 200 and 15th in the 100-meter sprints, while sophomore Hayden Veering finished 17th in the 100. The Marysville Bulldogs left Wichita last weekend with 5 medals, including a state champion 4x4 team and a school record in the 300 hurdles for sophomore Reese Wassenberg. A big congratulations to all the area athletes that represented our area so well in this past sports season. You're tuned in to the TVL Rundown, a comprehensive look at the athletics and athletes within the Twin Valley League. Joined by Jeff Wirtz of the TVL Spotlight, I'm Max Blasky with KNDY. The TVL Rundown is a service of the Citizens National Bank in Greenleaf and Bruna Implement.
Another reason to make the Citizens National Bank your bank. With the century of experience, you know you can count on us for convenient banking and personal service for people you know and trust. With extended hours and online banking for all your financial needs. Another reason to make the Citizens National Bank your bank.
For the best in farming equipment with the service to back it, there is only one Bruna Implement Company, your local Case IH dealer. Since 1947, the staff at Bruna Implement Company works daily to provide the best parts and service when you need it, always dedicated to their customers. Bruna Implement Company has been family-owned for 3 generations, and they know what it takes to be successful as your area Case IH dealer. With locations in Marysville, Washington, Clay Center, Seneca, Hiawatha, and Humboldt, Nebraska. Stop by or give them a call today.
Welcome into the final edition of the TVL Rundown. It's been a heck of a year inside the Twin Valley League. We first off want to thank everyone for tuning in each week here to the Rundown. Me and Jeff Wirtz want to pass on our appreciation to everyone. Our also big congratulations to all the area athletes that made this sports season so memorable. The last sport we're going to talk about this season was state track. It was a heck of a weekend down in Wichita for the Twin Valley League, and we're going to start on the girls side. Looking at first place finishers, it was Emerson Fordham of Onega that took home champion in shot put. Sevy Wirtz of Clifton Clyde took home the long jump title. Lily Weiser of Onega took home the pole vault title, while the Hanover ladies team took home the 4x4 title, and the Centralia Lady Panthers took home the 4x1 title, all en route while breaking the state record there. And top finishers as a team, it was the Clifton Clyde Lady Eagles, a team of 4 that comes home with a first place finish in Class 1A. And I know we don't talk about Clifton Clyde a lot here on the program, but got to give them their kudos. And for everyone else too, you know, not going to get into all the placings for the girls this year, but what a heck of a representation that it was this season down at state track.
It was a great year, and it pretty much puts a bow on what was an incredible year in the Twin Valley League. We saw so many big performances this year. That's the best thing you can say about it. You run out of words eventually with these TVL athletes. And again, this was just a microcosm of what 2025-26 has been about in the Twin Valley League.
When you mentioned it earlier, how many times each week did we either talk about or we see school records being broken, track records being broken, you know, top in state? It was just an incredible season. And for the boys' side, it was a team we've talked about all year long. The Axtell Eagle boys come home with the Class 1A state title as they won their 4th straight track state title over there at Axtell. Landon Schmitz ends his career with a first place finish in the 110 hurdles, and the 4x4 team brings home the state champion. And again, not taking anything else away from all the other area athletes, but Axtell, I know we talked about them all season again, Jeff, but this was a train that just stayed on its tracks, and it ends with another state title.
And you see it each and every day, each and every time out. This is a focused school. This is a focused team. And here recently, man, it's hard to say that you're going to slow down that Axtell team.
And we were talking off air, Jeff, just about the excellence that the Twin Valley League had at last week's state meet. How many Twin Valley League athletes came home with a medal and a podium finish?
It was a crazy number. 53 I have. Just an absolutely insane number. Again, it's one of these things, you see this sport, and it maybe doesn't get said enough. This is where it begins. The school year ends, but the beginning of next year starts. And you see that in some of the mindsets of some of these students. And to go on top of great athleticism, smart kids, intelligent, and can focus. And I think that's where the spring sports really come in.
Well, and you lead me right into something we wanted to talk about and give our congratulations to. You mentioned about the smart kids that we have in the area. 10-plus area athletes are moving on athletic scholarships to continue their education and athletic career at the next level. One other thing we didn't mention, all league baseball and softball announcements are starting to come out, all state selections. Time of recording, we don't have all that information, but I know there's a lot of kids that were well-deserving this year. Jeff, as always, where can folks find that information, as well as coming up your top 50 to 60 athletes of the year?
Head over to tvlspotlight.com and also on the socials, TVL Sports Spotlight on both Facebook and X.
Again, for Jeff Forts of the TVL Sports Spotlight, this has been Max Blasky of KNDY Radio all season long here on the TVL Rundown. Again, thank you all for tuning in all season long. A big congratulations to all the area athletes and students that made an impact in their school this year. And we'll see you again when the 2026-27 school year rolls around in the fall. You've been tuned in to the TVL Rundown, a comprehensive look at the athletics and athletes within the Twin Valley League. Joined by Jeff Wertz of the TVL Spotlight, I'm Max Blasky with KNDY. The TVL Rundown is a service of the Citizens National Bank in Greenleaf and Bruna Implement.
Raspberry shortcake, pink lemonade, and peach sorbet are plants, not dishes, to enjoy at your next meal. Consider including these and other compact fruit plants in your garden or on the balcony or deck. Hi, I'm Melinda Myers, horticulturist and gardening expert. Bushel and Berry, formerly branded as Brazzleberry, is a collection of ornamental, compact, and self-pollinating fruit plants, perfect for small space and apartment dwellers or those that like to grow one of every plant. Baby Cake's thornless blackberry is hardy in zones 4 to 8 and only grows 3 to 4 feet tall. You'll enjoy the white flowers in spring and large sweet blackberries in the summer. Raspberry shortcake is a compact thornless raspberry that produces lots of berries on a 2 to 3 feet tall and wide plant. Blueberry glaze, jelly bean, peach sorbet, perpetua, and pink icing blueberries have attractive flowers, edible fruit, and a variety of other ornamental attributes. Check out our website for this and other gardening tips.
Sometimes we don't realize the historic value of what is around us until it's too late. That was partially the case for this town. However, local citizens stepped in to save many amazing places that are now the centerpiece of tourism in this city in southern Georgia. The story is next on the American Countryside.
If you're a diabetic, we have great news. You can end the painful finger sticks with a new CGM. Plus, they may be covered by Medicare, Medicaid, or private insurance. If you use insulin or have had hypoglycemic events, you may qualify. Call US Med now to learn more.
800-409-1936. 800-409-1936. 800-409-1936. That's 800-409-1936.
Wake up, get ready, grab breakfast, go to work, grab lunch, come home, run to practice, run to the store, grab dinner, go to bed, and repeat. Food fuels your day, and we fuel the people producing it with the latest news, information, and perspectives from across the globe. Ag Day is the place to learn about the business of food and farming. Join us and our team of experts as we cover the stories that keep the world moving. That's weekdays for Ag Day, the country experience.
The city of Valdosta has been home to many grand old structures, but over the years, a lot of them began to vanish.
After 1980, we actually created our historic district, and that's when regulation came in that would protect these buildings. Prior to 1980, we lost dozens of gorgeous homes and buildings. If we had what we originally had in Valdosta, we would compete with Savannah and Charleston for tourism.
Jessica Gaines says there are many homes that remain and are open to visitors. What magnificent place is known for the beautiful grounds and a number of columns?
So our crown jewel, we call it the Jewel of Valdosta, is the Crescent Garden Centers. This is a magnificent home on Patterson Street. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous home that is well worth the trip. 13 pillars for those 13 original colonies.
The historic district also extends to the seat of government.
The historic courthouse was constructed in 1904, finished in 1905. By 2011, we had to construct the new judicial complex. So for 12 years, this building sat empty, needed a lot of work. So in 23, we completed the restoration. We're back in the building. It's open as a historic landmark.
And other buildings have ties to a character from the Wild West.
One of our people that's kind of our claim to fame is Doc Holliday grew up here in Valdosta. His mother was a Mackey. So when you see the buildings and the places that show that name, there's a great connection there. Doc Holliday's mother was a Mackey. He grew up here. His childhood home is still here.
The city has many historic homes, buildings, and stories that folks enjoy coming to see. Traveling the countryside in Valdosta, Georgia, I'm Andrew McCrae.
There will be an auction for the Lloyd and Jill Hull estate Saturday, June 6th, beginning at 10 a.m. in Waterville, with household tools and collectibles, plus real estate, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home selling at noon. Selling a 1989 Chevy Corvette convertible. Household items include a 25 cubic foot side-by-side refrigerator, front-load gas dryer, and front-load electric washer, refrigerator and upright freezer, Salad Master cookware, tools including air compressors, a drill press, table saw, and scroll saw, gun reloaders and supplies, collectibles plus lawn and garden, including a 20-horse garden tractor, 20-inch push mowers, weed eater, tiller, and miscellaneous. The real estate sells at noon. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with 3-quarter unfinished basement, attached 2-car garage, and a 30 by 50 metal shop on nearly an acre-level lot. Seller is the original owner. It has a natural gas backup generator, replacement windows, vinyl siding, a metal roof, all city utilities, and an indoor pool. This estate auction for Lloyd and Jill Hull, Saturday, June 6th, 10 a.m. at 412.5 South Colorado in Waterville. Olmsted and Sandstrom Real Estate Broker and Auctioneers.
Can a computer taste a tomato or blueberry? Hi, I'm Jody Henke. Not really, but it can tell scientists what makes them taste good as you're living the country life.
Living the country life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic and from previous shows by visiting us online at livingthecountrylife.com. We'll return to the show after these messages.
Interact with Successful Farming on social media. Like us on Facebook at Successful Farming USA and follow us on X at Successful Farm for tips, ideas, timely news, and information from our editors. Find us on Instagram at successful_farming and love the latest photo or video. And take a look behind the scenes with our editors on TikTok at successful_farming. Check out our full lineup of Successful Farming podcasts. The Successful Farming podcast goes in-depth into the topics that affect farmers and ranchers. The 15 Minutes with a Farmer podcast offers a quick conversation between an editor and a farmer. The SF Shorts podcast offers bite-sized interviews about agricultural topics. And the SF Daily podcast covers commodity markets, weather, and the big things happening in agriculture each morning. Search for Successful Farming wherever you download your podcasts.
You bite into a blueberry or tomato, your taste buds tell you if it's good or better suited for the compost pile. To find out if a fruit or vegetable is worth breeding, scientists sample the crop for taste and smell themselves, going through fields and picking produce individually. And that's a lot of work. Marcio Resende is a sweet corn breeder and geneticist at the University of Florida. He says a computer can learn what attributes make a good piece of fruit. Researchers at the university are studying how computer models can use a range of volatiles to measure fruit taste.
The tomato and blueberry lab, they basically quantified these compounds because they were in metabolic routes that were thought to be associated with flavor. And that's how we got to which compounds to look at. So it was a targeted set somewhere between 50 and 70. But the computer didn't know that, right? So you put that into a statistical model and you see if you can predict or not. And we also had sugars and acids in addition to these volatiles.
Using these models, a breeding program can assess flavor ratings and choose which varieties to grow.
Moving forward, so how it actually predicts is we give the computer this database of content of these different compounds, and the computer then knows, or at least is able to generate predictions as well. Seeing this, I think that the average score from 0 to 100 for this tomato variety will be, hypothetically speaking, 85. And then we can generate a ranking for all the varieties and say, these are the better tasting ones, these are the not so good ones.
His next goal is to use computer learning to find the best sweet corn varieties. Learn more about taste testing with artificial intelligence at livingthecountrylife.com. I'll see you in the country.
Living the Country Life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic, share your tips, and post photos by visiting us online at livingthecountrylife.com.
An inheritance is about more than money. Hi, I'm Rob West with a Faith and Finance Minute. Proverbs 13:22 says, "A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children." That can include financial resources, but Scripture points to something deeper, a legacy of wisdom, faith, and faithful stewardship. Money passed down without character can quickly disappear. But when we pass down values like generosity, contentment, and trust in God, we give something that can last for generations. That kind of inheritance doesn't begin in a will. It begins in the way we live each day. It grows through the example we set, the conversations we have, and the priorities we model at home. So yes, prepare financially, but also invest spiritually. Connect with a certified Kingdom advisor who's been trained to deliver financial advice that aligns with your Christian values by visiting our website, faithfi.com.
Canada's effort to stem the loss of farmland to development. Today on Farm to Fork.
Hey there, it's Mike Rowe, and if you're out there getting dirty, do me a favor and remember to call or click 811 before you dig. And when I say dig, I refer to any activity requiring boring, tilling, drilling, probing, reaming, plowing, drudging, or even scoping. Anything that causes you to roll up your sleeves a little and dig in requires you to first connect with 811 so that you can avoid all those buried pipes, wires, and cables underground. To sum up, call or click 811 before you dig and visit safeexcavator.com for more information.
I'm a fix-it-yourselfer, but I also know there are times when I'm in over my head. My wife has a saying, will anything bad happen? If the answer is even maybe, then call a professional. Too many farmers have gotten hurt or killed by trying to fix a problem themselves. Farm safety and health is everyone's business. This reminder is brought to you by Farm to Fork through the generous support of listeners like you across the country. Learn how you can help at northshoreproductions.com. 21 years ago, the Canadian province of Ontario set aside 2 million acres of prime ag land and placed protections on it against development. Margaret Zafariou is with the Canadian Agri-Food Policy Institute.
Supported by provincial planning legislation and implemented by municipalities, the Greenbelt provides great benefits to Ontarians. One benefit is a thriving ag and food system, accounting for $5 billion in GDP, 71,000 jobs, and high-quality food for Ontarians and the world.
Zafariou acknowledges that farmland outside of the Greenbelt is still at risk.
While Canada is a big country, only 4.3% of land is arable, most found around cities. But Ontario loses 319 acres to development a day.
Zafariou says with a growing population, impacts from climate change, and food insecurity issues, protecting farmland is more important than ever.
To counter future pressures on farmland in the Greenbelt, we need to educate the public on its benefits, strengthen the capacity of the ag and food system in the region, and encourage greater collaboration between municipalities and the province when making land use decisions, all for the benefit of Ontarians now and in the future.
That's Farm to Fork. I'm Darrell Anderson.
Ag News from the Mid-America Ag Network. I'm James Guerin. With us in the middle of summer wheat harvest season with almost nearly the entire region setting combines out to get ready for harvest. Let's get an update from some of the numbers from around the Central Plains. Harvest Report brought to you by Midwest Ag Pros. Get the most out of your crop insurance. We can have you covered in less than 2 hours. You can visit online at MidwestAgProfessionals.com. A highly erratic hard red winter wheat harvest is tracking north across the plains, forcing custom cutters to navigate drastic local yield swings and frustrating weather delays. Down in Texas, the combine migration has officially pushed out of the southern counties and is fully active across the central and rolling plains regions. However, constant rain systems have left fields incredibly muddy, stalling machines and driving severe anxiety over sliding test weights. Early dryland yields are showing extreme variability, spanning from 5 to 50 bushels, with the vast majority dropping into a tough 20 to 30 bushel average. Meanwhile, North Texas producers are choosing to cut and bale a substantial number of acres for hay following intense Haitian fly infestations. North of the Red River, field results are telling two completely different stories. The official Oklahoma Commission data shows the statewide harvest has jumped out to 35% completed. A brutal spring drought has severely capped overall volume, pinning 53% of the state's crop in poor to very poor condition. Yet the scale houses are seeing a massive regional divide. Fields situated south of Highway 51 are yielding a disappointing 15 to 25 bushels per acre, while northern counties are throwing a major curveball, with advanced drought-tolerant varieties rewarding growers with pleasant surprises in the mid-50s and 60s. Right here in Kansas, the wait continues as the state prepares for what projects to be a massive 31% production drop. Severe winter dryness and spring freeze damage have pushed 24% of the crop into very poor and 31% into poor condition categories. Recent June storms delivered widespread rainfall, but specialists note that the moisture is strictly a case of too little, too late. Actual combine activity remains limited to early, isolated test cutting along the southern border counties as producers wait for the grain to dry down. Your best resource for groundwater exploration and production is Hydro Resources. With decades of experience, Hydro Resources is your go-to for drilling and servicing wells for any commercial or irrigation needs. With more than 15,000 wells drilled and counting, Hydro Resources is determined to help you with any of your groundwater construction service needs. Call today at 620-227-2389 or go online to hydroresources.com. Hydro Resources, your best resource for groundwater exploration and production.
Want to get out of just about anything and look like an earth-saving hero? Just use the environment excuse. High school reunion? Sorry, can't. Planetary obligations. Unfortunate bridesmaid's dress? Unfortunately, you promised the climate you'd buy more vintage. Chauffeuring teens? The earth really needs them to hoof it. The environment is always the best excuse. Find your out and opt in to Cutting Carbon. Just visit theenvironmentexcuse.org.
Like everything around us, agriculture and rural living is changing. Kansas Farm Bureau's Farm Weekend brings you the stories, the voices, and the passion of farm families living and adapting to these changes. Farm Weekend on KNDY, Farm and Home Information Radio, a service of the Marshall County Farm Bureau Association.
Crop circles in a field are probably not the work of aliens. It's more likely a hungry bear sat down and helped himself to dinner on Successful Farming Radio.
Successful Farming Radio, providing information farmers need in the field, in the shop, and in the office. Committed to growing your business in agriculture.
Check out our full lineup of Successful Farming podcasts. The Successful Farming podcast goes in-depth into the topics that affect farmers and ranchers. The 15 Minutes with a Farmer podcast offers a quick conversation between an editor and a farmer. The SF Shorts podcast offers bite-sized interviews about agricultural topics. And the SF Daily podcast covers commodity markets, weather, and the big things happening in agriculture each morning. Search for Successful Farming wherever you download your podcasts. Interact with Successful Farming on social media. Like us on Facebook at Successful Farming USA and follow us on X at Successful Farm for tips, ideas, timely news, and information from our editors. Find us on Instagram at successful_farming and love the latest photo or video. And take a look behind the scenes with our editors on TikTok at successful_farming.
Black bears are smart animals, very opportunistic, and will chow down on just about any crop they can get their big paws on. This includes field corn, sweet corn, sorghum, sunflowers, orchard crops, and peanuts. They have a keen sense of smell and will travel miles to inspect a potential meal. Katie Martin is a wildlife biologist with the Virginia Department of Game and Inland Fisheries. She says because they're large animals, it's easy to spot where they've been dining.
Usually the first sign is you'll see trampling of the crop. A lot of the stalks will be laid over. Bears are pretty lazy animals once they get out into a crop field and will basically just sit down and reach around as far as they can to devour any of the crop that's right near them. And so a lot of times you'll actually see these crop circles, these big circles of area that are smashed down.
Martin says it's easier to prevent them from getting to the crop than chasing them out. The best bear deterrent is an electric fence. They do not like them.
You can do a 2 or 3 string high tensile wire fence around your crop fields or around nursery producing trees or orchard trees to keep the bears out of it. And while that can be an expense up front on the producer, if you're going to be using those same fields year after year, it actually will end up paying in the long run huge dividends since you're keeping those bears out and not losing crop to them.
Unfortunately, there isn't a one-size-fits-all solution to prevent bear damage. Talk to your local wildlife biologist for more ideas. I'm Jody Henke. Learn more about keeping bears out of your crops at agriculture.com.
Since 1935, farmers have relied on sales and service from Kuhlman Implement and Hardware in Lynn. Your certified AGCO Gale, Gleaner, Husqvarna, and Massey Ferguson dealer, Kuhlman can service tractors and farm equipment as well as automotive. They'll keep you going with any job around the farm, stocking hardware, parts, electrical, and plumbing supplies, as well as custom-made chains and hydraulic hoses. Count on Kuhlman Implement and Hardware in Lynn.
From Kansas State University, this is Agriculture Today. I'm Shelby Varner. Grain sorghum planting is another crop that growers are getting in their field or are thinking about doing this time of year across Kansas. K-State agronomist in charge in Tribune, Lucas Haig, explains factors in sorghum planting that growers have been dealing with this season. He says what is crucial because of the sorghum seed's needs.
At some point, we'd start thinking about adjusting hybrid maturities. We would, think about adjusting seeding rates a bit. But that really is a big challenge right now is just getting some moisture to plant into. And of course, sorghum being, smaller seeded than a lot, than corn, for example, having that firm, moist seed bed's even more important to make sure we get, soil around that seed coat so we get, good imbibing of water and germination.
He says what is needed in the field for larger yields and how growers may need to adjust their planting as it gets later in the season.
If we find ourselves in a later planting situation, very much like we've talked over the years with wheat, late planted, we got to increase that seeding rate, so we're going to set fewer productive tillers. And sorghum's very much the same way. We're counting on productive tillers to be able to meet that yield potential. And so as we find ourselves, as planting dates move later and later, we're going to have fewer productive tillers out there. So we need to be thinking about adjusting that seeding rate upward in order to compensate for that.
Haig discusses when people need to make sure their crop is the least stressed.
We need heat and water to drive yield. And so that's as long as we can get, even measures of heat and water through the season. And maybe I think too often about things in terms of water, but, when we visit with producers about irrigating sorghum, especially under short water, we think about, there's really 3 key timings in the year we want to minimize stress. And so in rough terms, we talk about if you only had 3 inches of water to put on, you'd put it on at 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days. Well, and what that really means is, growing point differentiation, roughly 30 days after planting when we're setting maximum kernel number, and then boot, and then grain fill. Those are really the 3 key time periods in the sorghum development cycle that we want to minimize growing conditions.
That was K-State agronomist in charge in Tribune, Lucas Haig, with his recommendations for people who have limited water resources for grain sorghum and what contributes to planting and establishment success. Learn more about this crop by going to agronomy.k-state.edu. I'm Shelby Varner, and this has been Agriculture Today over the K-State Radio Network.
During the summer months, flies can cause severe stress and annoyance to your livestock, leading to decreased weight gain and milk production. One stop at Valley Vet Supply in Marysville solves all those problems. From fly tags, dust control, spray, pour-on options to liquid and solid feed solutions. Applicator options include cattle rubs and mineral feeder lids that coat the head of your cattle with insecticide. Protect your herd and livelihood this season with one stop at Valley Vet Supply in Marysville.
Valley Vet Supply.
Market information from the Mid-America Ag Network. I'm James Guerin. Moving through a Friday as we get a little closer to the end of the trade day over in the grains market. We continue to have low numbers all across the board over here, and that has been the theme since the start of the trade week. For the seeds market, the last of these green numbers are now back into the red as well, for all of these numbers to be lower. And for the livestock, the cattle are now mixed across the board, and the hogs, they remain all in the red. In the corn market, July corn down 7.5 at 4.17 even, and September down 6 3/4 at 4.26 even. Kansas City wheat for July down 3.5 at 6.16 3/4, and September down 4 1/4 and 6.27 3/4. In the oats market, July oats down 3 3/4 at 3.14 3/4, and September down half a cent at 3.37 3/4. In the bean market, July beans down 11 cents at 11.18 1/2, and August down 9 3/4 at 11.22 3/4. Soybean meal for July down 5.30 at 3.0840, and August down 4.10 at 3.0760. Soybean oil for July down 2.31 at 73.98, and August down 2.15 at $73 even. In the canola market, July canola down $22 at 761.90, and November down 18.30 at 769.30. In the cotton market, July cotton down 93 cents at 73.96, and December down 79 cents at 77.70. Looking at the currencies for the first time today, the U.S. dollar index for June up 63 cents at 100.01, and September up 62 cents at 99.75. The euro for June slightly down to $1.15, and September is lower as well at $1.15. And the Japanese yen for June slightly down to 62 cents, and September is slightly lower as well at 62 cents. Looking at our afternoon stock market numbers, the NASDAQ falls the most in nearly 8 months as chips stumble. The S&P 500's 9-week winning streak set to end, with the Dow Jones currently down 400 points, the S&P 500 down 133 points, and the NASDAQ is currently down 795 points. Market information from the Mid-America Ag Network.
It's time to stress less with more money in your pocket. United makes it easy for you to stay connected with family and friends and save while you're doing it with 3 months free. For a limited time, get 3 months free of mobile wireless or wireless internet service with United. Get high-speed connectivity, unlimited talk, text, and data, and more money in your pocket. When you choose United, you're supporting a member-owned cooperative, proudly connecting Southwest Kansas with coverage you can trust. Visit getunited.com/radio or stop by a United store to get your 3 months free today. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
You're fierce. You take care of business and don't hold back. Taking care of your health shouldn't be any different. You know when something's off. Don't ignore symptoms like fatigue, joint pain, and rashes. Listen to your body. It could be lupus. We're here to help you take control. Learn how at BeFierceTakeControl.org. Brought to you by the Lupus Foundation of America and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Life moves fast, and important decisions deserve careful planning. At Westbrook Law Office, we handle estate planning, trust, probate, business formations, and real estate contracts with the personal attention our community relies on. I'm Aaron Westbrook, proud to serve Marysville and the surrounding areas. Let's secure your future together.
ABC News, Wall Street Now. The American job market continuing to show strength. Employers added 172,000 jobs to the U.S. economy last month, a surprisingly high number, almost double what forecasters had been predicting, and another sign of resiliency amid continued uncertainty over inflation and the war. National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett describing it as an absolutely blowout number. Price of crude continuing to trade internationally at about $95 a barrel as the Strait of Hormuz remains effectively shut down amid the war. President Trump traveling to Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin today for a roundtable discussion on American agriculture. Big tech companies dragging down the NASDAQ. Chip makers NVIDIA, Broadcom, and Micron racking up the biggest losses. Halfway through the day, the NASDAQ had lost 2% of its value. Hollywood actors avoiding another strike. Labor union SAG-AFTRA overwhelmingly ratifying a 4-year contract with studios and streaming services. Sherry Preston,
Bringing the fun vibes to Marysville all weekend, it's Big Blue River Days this Friday and Saturday. Activities include pickleball tournaments, turtle races, a cruise night, kid zone activities, dizzy dash relays, and more. Check out the full event list online at Big Blue River Days on Facebook, and we'll see you in Marysville this weekend for all the fun.
Welcoming all to Marysville, Valley Vet Supply is every Western enthusiast's dreams. Boots, jeans, Western, and modern apparel for him and her. Valley Vet Supply also stocks animal and pet health, livestock, and farm supply. At Sunflower Community Credit Union, you're an owner, not just a customer. Find out what sets them apart and let them help you if it's an auto, home equity loan, or other finance service. Find them online at sunflowercommunitycreditunion.com. Westbrook Law Office on Broadway Street in Marysville works for you and your community. From real estate contracts to estate planning and trust formations and power of attorney, Aaron Westbrook at Westbrook Law Office will provide legal services when you need them. Heritage Inn Express offers a comfortable night's stay for the business or leisure traveler. Your guests will appreciate their clean accommodations and many extras at Heritage Inn Express in Marysville.
KNDY.